Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. Thank you so much for those of you that have recently joined me. Thank you for the comments that you added on my last few videos. So lovely to read them, your ideas that you're planning, things that you're doing for New Year and things that you're planning, whether they're specific intentions or New Year's resolutions or objectives that you have in your home or in your life. People have shared that they've got targets within their own home around decluttering and sorting or particular projects in their house. People have shared that they want to save more and spend less. One person said about wanting to spend more time with family. Another talked about their gardening plans. It's so lovely to read. So for those of you that are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma. I live in Norwich in Norfolk. For those of you that aren't living in the United Kingdom, that may not know where that is, if you think about the map of the United Kingdom and the island, there's a bump that sticks out to the right hand side of the island. That bump is mostly Norfolk. So I live in Norfolk. It's quite a rural county really compared to other parts of Norfolk, but we've got a big city. We've got lovely, beautiful coastline, lots of countryside and lots of different things to do. But predominantly in this video, I'm sharing my decluttering, tidying, sorting journey. So I really am not a tidy person. I don't consider myself to be tidy at all. I don't consider myself to be very good in the home. But about 2 years ago, I decided that I was going to get better and that I wasn't happy with living in my house feeling that it was untidy and that it was muddled and it was messy. I wasn't happy that if someone came to the door, I felt like I couldn't invite them in. And I wasn't happy that, I don't know, it just generally seemed to be untidy. Also, when people were invited round, we had to do this massive tidy up. A full day affair the day before to try and get the house into a state that people could actually come round. But I would say that this last year, the whole of 2024, I really took that much more seriously. So the 2023 I did more, definitely did more in the house, but last year I did a lot more. I did a lot more tidying up during the week, a lot more cleaning during the week, and I got rid of so many bags last year. Like I've said several times before, I really wish I'd weighed them. The charity shop that I took most of the things to, they have got a running total in terms of how much money they've made of my things. I've taken a great deal of things to them. Some new things, second-hand things, children's things, house things, old clothes that me and my husband wanted to get rid of. But there's so much more that I want to get rid of. I am, like many of you, quite a sentimental person, so I will look at objects and I've attached a certain time to those objects, a place, memories, feelings, and also I do have waves of feeling that I cannot part with certain things for certain reasons. Just when I think I'm going to get rid of it and give it to the charity shop bag, then I have like a thought process which makes me feel like I'm not particularly making logical decision, and I have to take it out of the charity bag and keep it, which I know other people that follow my channel have a similar sort of thing. So you're not alone. So I also work, my husband works full-time, but I work in several different jobs. I like the variety. I never want to work in one job full-time. I do like the variety, but it is a juggle. But as many of you will know, number one is our daughter. So my work all fits around her to make sure that I'm with her during the holidays, that I'm there for most of the school runs and pickups. If I'm not doing the school runs and pickups, then my husband is. So life's very busy and I try to keep the house tidy. But what a number of people, lots of people told me early last year, we've got too much stuff and you need to declutter. And that made me realise that, of course, the fewer objects that we have in our homes, the easier it is to keep things tidy. Easier it is to keep the dust down. My daughter has a dust allergy, for example, so life is easier when there are fewer items, and we all do probably have far too many items. So if you are fairly new here, my videos are similar sort of format. So what I tend to do is share with you what I've got going on in this video. I talk a little bit about my life, what I've been up to, and then we also talk through some of the comments that you've added to my channel. So this video is predominantly sorting the house out after Christmas. So I decided to spend some time on my stairs because my stairs really had got quite dusty. The stairs carpet is quite a high percentage wool, so there's like a lot of fluff to remove. So I decided just to go over the stairs. The frames that sit in a pile are all my daughter's certificates, which are yet to go on the wall. Hopefully they will go up in the next few months. You'll see me do some sorting of my washing, trying to get my washing dry. You'll see me spend some time on the kitchen and keeping the kitchen maintained and tidy and clean. And then you will see me spending a lot of time taking my Christmas decorations down. So whilst I'm doing all of this, my daughter is doing schoolwork, and my husband is embarking on taking down all the decorations in the other room. Remember our lovely train set and all the Lego? All of that was his job to take down. Although I have just got a mini panic because he's done a fantastic job of putting all the Lego sets back into the boxes. And I said, oh, what about the wood platform? Are you taking that down tonight? And he said, no, that's staying. And that he's going to do it all the way around the outside of the wall, which obviously was not my plan. I assumed that was all coming down after Christmas. So I think I'll need to speak to him a bit more about that. You can see me predominantly really focused on clearing up the lounge. I learnt my lesson with the Christmas lights, by the way. You know, I spent absolutely ages detangling them. My husband has wrapped them all up. So that's going to help my future self. You'll also see me doing all my gift tags. So to help me get rid of the Christmas cards, which sometimes I can get attached to or feel like I can't get rid of, all the certain family ones I kept, and lots of the others I went through, and this time I also added the string. I cut the gift tags, I put a hole in them, and I added the string. So that's helped my future self as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It is a really, really busy video. Lots going on, lots of mess. I can't say, to be honest, that I've finished it sitting down now. It's now 9:30 at night. There's still more to be done, but we have done a lot. So we've had a busy weekend. It's been nice because I felt like my husband was working like Thursday and Friday. And as you know, I took my daughter and a friend to trampoline park, and I checked my emails, just did about an hour of work, just to kind of try and catch up on some of my emails. But then it felt like, oh, it's holiday again, because we were obviously both off the weekends. So that worked out really nicely. On Saturday, my husband took my nephew, so that's my sister's son, my sister's youngest, and they went to the footballs. That was part of his Christmas present. I was so pleased. I kept checking the score. Me and my daughter went into Norwich to do some... Well, we had a little look in the sales and we took a couple of things back and sorted a few things. But I kept checking the score and Norwich were losing. And then in the last minute and a half, last 2 minutes, they scored 2 goals. So, of course, my husband was really happy and so was my nephew. So he was really pleased. And there was a particular top that he really wanted, a football top. And... my husband said, well, I'll pay half. So he was also excited about that. He came out wearing this top. He's got really, really into his football, which is really, really nice. And so while they were at football, me and my daughter, as I said, we went round the sales. She got a new pair of jeans. The toy that she was bought for part of her Christmas present, where the little clip had fallen off, I really thought that was going to be difficult. And the shop owner was going to start saying, oh, we need all your receipts, and no, we can't exchange it, and all this sort of thing. I was quite sure I didn't have the receipt. I could show on my bank where I'd bought it, but I wasn't sure that I had the actual receipt. But instead, she just said, I thought they were going to be funny about it, But instead she just said, yeah, sure, you can have a refund, you can have an exchange, or you can use the money towards something else. So my daughter was over the moon because she paid an extra £3 from her Christmas money and got the slightly bigger dragon, Jellycat dragon. So she's very pleased about that. Then she took something back to WH Smith that she'd already got a couple of, and did a swap. And we did a couple of other little jobs. There's just summer shops. I was exactly the same when I was her age. There's just summer shops that she just wants to go in and have a look. So that's what she did. She loves kawaii things still and Japanese things. So we went into a kawaii shop and looked at all these Japanese stationery and Hello Kitty and all that sort of thing. So she enjoyed that. And then we went back and met my husband at the car park and came home. And then Sunday, that felt like a bit of a shock to the system because we got up and went to church for 9 o'clock. I felt so tired, but I felt like it was quite good getting back into a routine. And then we came back and did loads of work to get rid of all, put all the Christmas things away. And then we were invited to my mother and father-in-law's for dinner, which was very nice of them. They did a lovely meal for us, a 3-course meal. We had a prawn cocktail for starter. We had roast lamb, all vegetables and Yorkshire pudding. And then for dessert, we had Christmas pudding. But my mother-in-law was a bit quiet, so I don't know whether she was okay. She'd had a conversation about my daughter's school, because we take her to school in the car. And she said to my daughter, you want to be going on the bus? When are you going to be going on the bus? And I think she sort of says it in order to get a bit of a reaction from me. And I think, why is she saying that? Like, my daughter is still really quite short. And although we had considered about her going on the bus, I really feel like she needs to be like another foot taller. And I was 18 when I was getting the bus, backwards and forwards, to the university. And I really, really disliked standing about in the freezing cold waiting for buses. And I feel that me and my husband are very lucky that we work in jobs that allow us to be very flexible, and therefore sending her out to get a bus, like Eve, she'll have to be up even earlier, and she won't get home with the buses probably until like 5:30. And given that she's already really, really tired, but if I try to say any of that, then my mother-in-law won't listen. She just thinks, well, next year she's going to be 13, even though she's not 12 and a half yet, and therefore she needs to be getting the bus. So I'm afraid I probably at that point should have just not responded, but I said, well, when you go into the city, why don't you take a taxi? Why don't you stop using the bus and take a taxi? She says, because I don't want to. So I said, well, I think that my daughter can start using the bus to school when you start getting a taxi. Of course, she's never going to get a taxi. She'll only ever get the bus. But I guess my point was, I don't give feedback on how other people make their travel arrangements. I just think if me and my husband have made the decision, that's what we're going to do for the time, for the foreseeable future. It's not for somebody to then say to my daughter, why aren't you getting the bus? You should be getting the bus. Don't think it's anything to do with anybody else. So you can see in the video that I'm starting on the Christmas tree. So it's only when you sort of start taking all the decorations off do you really realise how much I've got. Boxes and boxes and boxes of things. I'm sorry about how the lights look like they're flashing, but I quite liked the Christmas lights on when I was taking all the decorations off, so I could see clearly what I had to remove. Also, I had 2 bags, which aren't quite in the picture, but I had 1 bag of all things that are going to go to the charity shop in November of next year. And yes, this time I'm going to sellotape the top and I'm going to put a label, because goodness knows what happened to the things from last year. That was really strange because I did the same thing last year. But there's obviously no point me sending books and decorations to the charity shop now, because a lot of them will just go into the bin, sadly. I also had another bag for all bits and pieces of rubbish. I also laughed and said, oh, should I put on the video from last year? So you'll see partly in the video, I put on my video from last year, which was my daughter's idea. I just did a 7-minute video where I took all the decorations off the tree. And then do you remember, those of you that have been following me for a while, I used to talk for a bit and then I used to put my music on. I liked that music. I know people loved it or hated it. There was a real mix, which is why I then started talking for the whole length of the videos. But yeah, I watched what I was doing and how I was packing things away, which was quite interesting really to see how similar in some ways I was packing all the tree and putting certain things in certain places, which I tend to do like every single year. I guess you get in a bit of a pattern really, don't you? So I managed to get all the tree down, which is good. And then I start on some of the other the decorations and the cuddly toys. They need to go into a vacuum packed box. So in terms of my next few days, tomorrow my husband's working, I'm not working, and my daughter's not back at school yet. So we're going to probably do some more sorting in the house. She's got this chemistry test coming up. Apparently they did all vote, and she voted to do the test before the holidays, but other girls voted to do it after the holidays. So she had to do it after. She's finished her art homework, and she's done part of her English homework, which part of the English homework was after reading a certain number of books, she had to design a cover for a book. And although the text said you could use card or paper, all the pictures were felt cover. So she's made like this felt sort of container. You put the book in and do a ribbon, do it up. And the book is called Foxlight. It's a school book. She didn't want to write the words Foxlight because she wants to use her book cover for other books. But she got a little silhouette from online of a fox and cut that out and did a little white tail, and then she's done some long sort of back stitch to do like the fur on the fox. It really looks very effective, and it's just great practice for her doing this sewing as well. So she's done a really good job of that. And the other part she needs to do is she needs to write a comic strip. She needs to take the book and like turn part of it into a short comic strip. So I think she'll be working on that tomorrow, so she'll enjoy doing that. And then Tuesday, we are all back to normal. And at the moment, I'm feeling a little bit fed up that everything's going back. I do, as you all know, I love springtime and I do enjoy my work. But I think it's just the thought of everything, the end of the holidays and so on. And just, I looked at my diary on Friday and it's like, why did I think this was a good idea? So like my first day, I've got 3 face-to-face meetings. I'm chairing a meeting in my second week. My big quarterly meeting you sometimes hear me talk about. Well, I had that in December. So I'm not due to do it again until March. But I've been trying to move the dates forward. So the person who organised all the dates for me organised January. So I checked my availability for the January date, but I didn't really look at that in the context that I'd already done the meeting in December. So I'm just going to focus that meeting on something. We're having some big work being done at one of our locations in Norfolk. So I need to talk to people about that. And then for the rest of the meeting, I'm going to talk about gathering their views as to what they would like to see from me and my team throughout the year. I hope no one says they want to see me getting tidier. Wouldn't that be funny? If they went into a breakout groups and somebody had found my channel, that'd be funny. So I've got that coming up. I've got training coming up. I'm delivering a workshop. I need to review all the materials. So busy. My daughter's flute teacher contacted me about her starting flute lessons back on Tuesday. I said, that's her first day back. Can we start the week after? There's just so many things I've got to sort out. I'm going back up to the northeast in a couple of weeks as well. So I need to schedule that in. So for those of you that don't know, I've got another channel. So if you're interested, please do look up on my other channel. There I post other things, sort of to do with my life in Norfolk and other things that I get up to. So if you're interested, please do follow along there. So a few people messaged my last video about one of the prayer cards. I mentioned in my last video about how there are some people on my channel who've had a difficult few months or a difficult year, 2024, particularly in relation to health. And if anybody, if that's you, or if you would just like one of the prayer cards from Little Nazareth, which is in Little Walsingham in Norfolk, then please drop a note on my video and I will send you one. So a number of people have messaged me, so thank you for those of you that have messaged. I will be getting to the post office, and I haven't yet forgotten people's prizes. I was very conscious of the fact that lots of things, even with the Royal Mail, do go walkabouts over Christmas. It's a very, very busy time for them. Things just get misplaced. And also I'm notoriously bad at posting things. But what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to get some brown envelopes because I don't have any left, and I will send off the prizes. So 3 people commented and 1 person hasn't yet commented. So I'm going to have to go back on the video and double check who has and who hasn't commented, and then reach out to the person. If they don't reply, because they might not watch my videos anymore, I will choose someone else at random. So yeah, so busy last few days, busy few days coming up. Please drop in the comments what you've been up to, what you've got plans in the first few weeks of January. I wanted to give you a little update on a couple of my targets that I've set. So firstly, I had a commitment for one day. Then don't worry. It's just one step forward, one step back. It's not completely back. You know, sometimes people feel like when they do a New Year's resolution or an objective and they don't quite get it, or, you know, they miss a day or they don't do very well for part of a week, then they just give it all up. You've got to keep on with it. So I have done a walk every day for at least 30 minutes. So obviously when I went into the city on Saturday, I did way more than 30 minutes. On other days where I haven't done 30 minutes, the 3 of us have all gone out in the evening, and we've actually timed it to make sure we walk somewhere for 15 minutes and then walk back. In reality, we've done more like 40 minutes. Then on Monday, I'm going to be weighing myself and I'm going to be doing my measurements like Janet posted that she's going to do. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to measure around my waist, around my hips, around my thigh. I'm going to take various measurements, and I am going to do a fast. Now, last year, many of you heard me talk about doing the Daniel fast. I don't think I could possibly bring myself to do that again. 2nd year in a row, for various things. I remember the very first night I felt weak because I just hadn't eaten enough. But I just got absolutely sick and tired. We ate so much falafel. Even now, if I think about falafel, it just makes me think like, oh, shudder, thinking about that fast. So I'm not going to do the Daniel fast again, but I will be doing something similar. So I'll be doing 21 days of fasting and prayer. Now, if you want to join in with me, it's going to be starting, let me double check. It's going to be starting, I think, on the 13th. But I just need to double check to be certain. Yes, it's going to be starting on the 13th of January. So you've got time to mentally prepare for this. And it will run for 21 days. Now, what you might do is you might choose to give up coffee. You might choose to give up crisps. You might choose to give up sugar. It really depends. Some people might do a fast of social media, or please don't do a fast of YouTube. But you might, so whatever it is for those 21 days, so that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be giving up a whole range of different things for 21 days, and I will share a bit more with you once I've written it down in my notebook. Right, my morning routine that I shared with you was to, in the morning, get up and make the bed, do room rescue, so look around just for 5 minutes, work on some sort of decluttering every day, do washing more frequently, and then 30 minutes of exercise. Then in the afternoon, it was to do the 30-minute exercise check. Have I done that? If not, book it in. And then bedtime, I need to shine the sink, scan the room. I need to be in bed by 10:30. Now, how have I been doing against that? It's not obviously a full week yet, is it? Because it's only the 5th of January. So I haven't made the bed every day, but I have made it probably 3 times. I have been constantly on every single room. I have been decluttering, and I'm nearly on top of my massive load of washing. You know, like all those piles and piles of clothes, and my husband tidied up his chair, and most of it ended up in the washing basket. So I'm nearly on top of that. But I've got a lot to do with washing because there's loads of stuff I need to put away. Then I've told you how I've got on with my 30 minutes of exercise. Then in the evening, so far, every single day, I've cleared up the kitchen. The kitchen's been lovely in the morning. One time I came down, walked into the kitchen and just had a big smile on my face. So I've been shining the sink every evening. Bed before 10:30. I'm much more aware of the time. So when it gets near 10:30, I'm thinking, right, need to go to bed. But I have been having a couple of nights so I've had difficulty in sleeping. So I've gone to bed. I think it's because I'm not getting up early. So I've tried to go to bed earlier, but then I'm getting up later, which then means I'm not that tired at 10:30. It's a bit strange because I have felt tired. It's just when I then go to bed, I feel like I can't really sleep very well. But I think that'll be easier again next week when we're all back to work and my daughter's back at school, because I can then really make a habit out of my objectives. And then I'm learning a little bit more about the Fly Lady, and someone mentioned on my channel how what you really need to do is you need to focus on a couple of things and just really make them into habits. So my big thing for this month is that shine the sink focus. Every room has got targets, so I've got targets for every single room in the house, and I will be in the coming weeks be telling you what I'm planning to do in each room over the course of the year. So I'm going to go through some of your comments now. So thank you so much for those of you that have taken the time to add comments to my pages. I love reading your comments. If you are new here, please do let us know where you're from. We love seeing where all people are from around the world. So if you're from America, please let us know what state you're from, or what European country, or what county in England. It's really lovely to see. So the first comment I'm going to go through is from LV Frankie. And LV Frankie says, Happy New Year, Emma and family. I love hearing your goals for 2025 and the fact that you've written them down. One of my goals is to budget, pay debts, save, and have a low spend January. Good luck with that, LV Frankie. Don't know if I told you that I watch, I think I have. I watch a channel called Ali Lives Well on Less. And I do like Ali, and I find it interesting what she says. And she had a no spend December. But the only thing which I thought she was living off her cupboards and all her fridge and freezer things. But the other day she shared on her channel that she just spent double in November. And she filled up all of the fridge and all of the freezer, jam-packed full of stuff, and just spent double the amount in November. And I kind of thought, isn't that missing the point a little bit? I thought she was trying to live off the contents of her cupboards for a month, and not that she just got everything in November, but each to their own. I have shared before, I stopped spending. I really curtailed spending about 2 years ago. I've never really what I consider sort of wasted money and spent money. I've always been a saver, if I'm honest. That's how my mum and dad brought me up. But 2 years ago, I really, really needed to see how much money I could save each month. So I just stopped buying anything. And to be honest, even now, I don't really buy much. I bought those baskets, didn't I, the other day, and that was a really big thing for me. I don't very often buy things at all, which made me laugh because when we were asking each other between family members what people would like for Christmas, lots of family members couldn't think of a single thing they needed. Whereas with me, there was actually lots of things that I really wanted. So I like my pillar candles, and hardly got any left, but I wouldn't buy any, so I asked for those. And my jeggings had got holes in them. Some of my long sleeve black tops have got holes in them. There were quite a few things on my list, or things that I really, really needed. My dad got us a really nice hamper, and he also got me some fairy liquid. I was really chuffed with that. Isn't that funny? But I use a lot of fairy liquid, as you all know. LV Frankie goes on to say, I bought a new digital budget planner at the very last minute when it was 50%. I still will use my trusty diary to budget costs around £1 in your money, as I feel there is nothing that compares to writing it down. I agree, it is good to write it down. How does this digital budget planner work then? Is it on a tablet or a laptop? Is it like a program? How wonderful that your daughter's bag was found with all the contents intact and returned. I know. I was so pleased. Okay. Next comment is from Karen. Karen Howard, 8542. And Karen says, what a lovely post. Clearing out the sweets cupboard was your promise for the day. Yes, I was one of those cheering for the kitchen counter corner. Yes, thank you, Karen. You've suggested a number of things that I've implemented, actually. Each time you open a crowded cupboard, I wish I was there to help sort things out. I would love one of your prayer cards for my sister who is undergoing chemo treatments. I will send you my address along with the promised crash photos. A huge thank you for sharing your life and journey. Thank you as normal for your lovely comment, Karen. I appreciate your comments and I'm glad you enjoyed the video. And yes, I will send a prayer card out to you if you email me, and then I will delete your address afterwards because I cannot store any addresses. And I hope your sister gets through the treatment strongly and well and recovers well. Cami says, I just paused your video to look up that Italian composer and listen to Gabriel's oboe. While it didn't make me cry, I found it quite beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to play it for my granddaughter who is 3 so she can dance ballet to it, which she loves to do. Oh, how cute. That's nice. I'm glad you found it, Cami. The first time I heard the piece, I didn't have any visual, so I was listening to it on the radio, and for me, I really feel it's very powerful without the visuals that you get on YouTube. That's just me. Kate West. Now, Kate has shared with me about the heated dry from Lakeland, so I need to do some research on this. Now, my husband's very good at research, so I might ask him to have a little look at this. So Kate has the heated dry from Lakeland, which is the Dry Soon brand. And she's also had others in the past as well. She did some research before buying it and it seemed like the best option. She's generally happy with it. And she's given some tips on terms of sort of drying thicker items like jumpers. I find it works best when the heating is off in the house, but it's not nice enough to put things outside. That's interesting. Okay, super. Thanks very much for that. That's very useful research for me to start on. Susan Ricky Maru, I'm sorry if I've said that wrong, but Susan says, hi, my first time seeing one of your videos, I really resonated with the message of not using your body as a bin. Thanks for that. You're very welcome. Thanks, Susan, for finding us. And please add a comment on the channel to say where you're from. Love to hear where you're from. I think that's really important. It's so easy to look at those biscuits that you're actually not that keen on and think, oh, I've only got 4 more. I just eat them. And actually, you don't particularly enjoy them, and you're not gaining any nutrients from them. They're not really any good for you, and you are just basically using your body as a bin. And this day and age where we all have so much, sadly, that does also mean that there is food waste. But sometimes there's food waste for good reason, because it's just not good for us to keep on eating those last few chocolate, sweets, cakes that are piling up. I can remember years ago, sometimes I would even eat the quality streets. I didn't like the nuts, but I'd eat the sweets, around them, and then just bin the nuts. And I think, oh really, what was the point in that? Katie says, my 12-year-old is very similar with homework. If it's not French or art, she puts it off. But I replied to Katie saying, I love the fact that she loves French. That's super. Sandy said, I love the video at the end and the story behind it. What a beautiful church, and thank you for praying for people. Holly says, great work on the kitchen. B says, hello, lovely Emma. This is B from Australia here. Now, I want to share with everybody who's listening that B really has been very unwell. So we really do need to think about her and send our best wishes to her. And for those of you that do believe in the power of prayer, please, if you don't mind, say a prayer for B's, recovery from a health perspective. She's been really poorly. So B says, Happy New Year to you and your gorgeous family. Sorry I haven't commented for a while. Don't worry about that at all, B. It's not important to comment on my channels, my videos, given what you've been going through. B says, I have been enjoying watching all of your videos all through to the end. However, the end of 2024 has been very rough. I've been suffering from severe pain from several chronic conditions. The meds are no longer helping, as the endometriosis and adenosis, I'm sorry, I'm not sure about that, spreads. I'll have to look up to see what that is. I know what the first one is, but I don't know what the second one is. But it's spread and has become much worse. I have such big decluttering plans for 2025, but they're currently on hold. I just wanted to say thank you for your wonderful videos, your well wishes and your kind heart. When I see your videos, it's like having a little visit from a friend. Emma, your videos are like a ray of sunshine on a dark day. You and your beautiful YouTube community bring a smile to my face on days when I can't walk or move. Much love to you all and best wishes. I'm so sorry, B, that you've been so poorly. How awful. I pray that the meds do start working, or at least you receive guidance on what medications might help you. Maybe there's something else that they can do. Maybe there's an alternative health treatment that you could get. As for decluttering plans, don't worry about those, because your health is, of course, number one. But on good days, what I'd say is if you are able to do something, just do 5 minutes. Nothing else, just do 5 minutes and sit back down. I'm so pleased that you're enjoying the videos and watching the videos, and thank you for being here. And I completely understand you not being able to comment on them, so don't worry about that. But I do really hope sincerely that you start feeling better. And that's my prayer, my hope for you throughout the next sort of early part of 2025, that you start feeling much better. And you can leave the pain and the difficult times of 2024 behind. Cynthia says, Dear Emma, I'm in awe about what an interesting, well-rounded and cultural life you lead. Oh my goodness, Cynthia, thank you. And all the things your daughter is learning. She will grow up to be a very accomplished young woman. I hope so. I hope so. Thank you for replying to my comments and for discussing them on the channel. That's okay. I very much appreciate your comments, Cynthia. Also, I hope some of your other subscribers might benefit from them. Yeah, I think they will, particularly saying yes and saying no. Today we packed away our small Christmas trees and tidied and swept the garage. For supper we have oven-fried chicken, cheesy rice with Italian seasoning, and homemade cranberry orange sauce. Wow. This is way past my bedtime, but I'm starting to feel hungry. I also made some ham salad for lunch sandwiches tomorrow. I got goosebumps from seeing the video of Walsingham. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Cynthia. And a number of you enjoyed it, so I'm so pleased about that. But it's such a special place to me. I really, really enjoy going. I go a few times each year, and each time I go, I see something new that I hadn't noticed before, I hadn't seen before. So this time, my husband noticed on the walls these sort of like small ceramic, it's kind of like plates of the Stations of the Cross, which I'd never noticed before. So we went all the way around the church looking at these, but it really is a really beautiful place. Next time I go to the big procession, I'll take you along with me. So Cynthia says, I'd love to get a prayer card. What is the best way for me to send you my address? So I did reply back to Cynthia letting her know. So please nobody add your address to my channel. So don't add your address to my channel because everybody will then see your address. You can email me your address, and I can't keep any personal details of anybody. So once I've got your address and used your address for the purpose that I've taken it for, I will then delete that email with your address. So I'm not holding that. I'd be very pleased to send that over to you, Cynthia. Barbara Palmore says, I would love a prayer card from Little Nazareth. It was so kind of you to pray for your YouTube friends. Barbara, again, very happy, very pleased. I love this place so much. I'm really pleased to spread the word and spread information about it. And if anyone's interested, you can also see where they actually do, I think there's every day at 6 o'clock. You can see Mary, who I didn't video on my channel, and I explained why I didn't do that. But they do video on YouTube. Carolyn says, I agree about those Klingons. Karen Davis says, hi Emma, I enjoy everything in your videos and always watch to the end. Thank you, Karen. I love when you show us various places around England. Today's visit to Walsingham was fascinating. What a beautiful place and amazing story. Best wishes to you on your plans for 2025. I don't make New Year's resolutions. Instead, I do themes for the year. And my theme for 2025 is Find Joy. And I replied back to say what a really lovely idea. I found out from my sister that she writes a letter to herself, her future self. She writes a letter, like when she's packing all the Christmas decorations up, and she puts it in the box and she reads it the next year, which I liked. I thought that was a nice idea. But I love this idea of theme for the year. And then Karen says, I find a lot of joy in your videos. So thank you. What a very kind thing to say. And Linda Van Ussel says, hi Emma, Happy New Year. You sound all fired up about the new year. That's great. I can't wait to see what you get accomplished. No pressure. I would love one of your cards. I'm Catholic and have been collecting them since I was a very young child. Keep building on those decluttering muscles. And I'd love to send you one, Linda. Now, Linda has actually emailed me, and I'm very pleased to say that, do you remember when we were talking about bears? And I was talking about wanting to see bears in Italy. And Linda, she lives in Oregon, and she was saying about the bears in her gardens, in her yard, as I think you say. And very kindly, Linda has shared 2 photographs of the bears. So do you remember Linda shared the story where there was a female black bear on her farm? Literally all the time they lived there, which is 40 years. And she'd have twin cubs every other year. And they got used to each other. It was so lovely. And then one time, the mama bear stood up on her back legs and was trying to get some fruit. And Linda says she was about 8 feet tall. Absolutely amazing. I'd love to see a bear. And then she also shared another story, and it was at the end of the summer, and she'd been working on her garden, if you remember. And she says she looked out onto the orchard, and the mummy bear was lying on her back with pears all on her tummy, and she was eating them all. And Linda suddenly saw the pear tree start to sway and shake, and her cubs were in the tree, shaking the tree to knock down more pears. I thought, what a beautiful story. So if you stay till the end, I've added the pictures. I got Linda's permission to include the pictures of the bears at the ends. Thanks so much for that, Linda. And I'll send one of those cards to you in the next few days. Next comment, so Stacey from Virginia. Stacey always comments. Thank you, Stacey. She says, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy Saturday blessings. Super sweet video. I love watching. Stacey from Virginia. Now, I also want to just mention about Rebecca. So we need to send our thoughts and prayers and best wishes to Rebecca and her husband, Richard, and their children. So Rebecca has been going through a very difficult time, as many of us know, because Richard had an accident and has been recovering. I think it's been going on quite a few months now, because Rebecca has been following me for quite some time. So Rebecca has said, I totally agree with everyone that finds your voice relaxing. I know I do. That's kind. This vlog has been a help to me tonight. I've felt so anxious today, as Rich has speech and language on Tuesday, and we have an appointment with our lawyer on Friday. And just the thought of next week, plus both of my children going back to school, has me having a wobble. So I did reply back to Rebecca just to say about having several things in a short period of time is difficult. And she's gone through so much, the whole family have gone through so much, and still managing so much. And actually, it's only later do you look back in life and realise what a difficult period it was and how traumatic it's been, dealing with all these hospital appointments and diagnoses and getting support from people and getting in touch with the right people and the right meds. It's really, really hard. It really, really is. So I'm not at all surprised that you're feeling overwhelmed and finding things sort of difficult, several things like that all in the same week. So I hope by the time you're listening to this, you're part way through the week, and I hope the appointments have gone well. Hope the children settle back into school as you want them to, and I hope you have a smooth week. I hope best wishes with the appointment on Friday with the lawyer. Hope that goes well, and hopefully you can have a relaxing weekend on Saturday and Sunday after having a very, very busy week. So I'm nearly at the end of the video, but something that I just wanted to mention that I heard today, which I really, really liked, and I thought that I would just share it with you for those of you that are interested. And it was talking about the light. And there's lots of things going on in the world or in our own lives which are difficult, which feel dark, which feel hard, and sometimes it feels like the light is not as near us or not shining so brightly as we need it to. And the words that I thought were really interesting was that each of us have the light of the world within us. And the quote was that a town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others. I liked that because I thought whenever people are going through a difficult time or problems, we all have that light within us. Sometimes it might flicker a little bit, sometimes it might be dimmer. But if we nurture that light, things are easier and things are better. And sometimes you might naturally need to get a top up of your light from someone else's lights. And that's okay, because sometimes you may repay the favour. I'm talking in a bit of a metaphor now, aren't I? And perhaps a bit too deep. But thank you very, very much for watching my video. Thank you for the kindness that you show towards me and the positivity and support that you give me. I very much appreciate it. I am determined. I still am determined. Even though I'm not that tidy, I'm getting tidier. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye!